The controversial Thomas Fallon statue has been removed from downtown San Jose following years of controversy. Later on, I find out what impact this has had on the community.
What's among the toughest programs to get into at San Jose State? Hint, it's not a class. I'm Betsy Gebhardt. The answer coming up on Update News.
We sit down with journalists and techies to find out the future of artificial intelligence in the newsroom.
Stick around for a deep dive into the sudden shakeup in cable TV news. San Jose State journalism professor Richard Craig joins us. These stories and more coming up this week on Update News.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Betsy Gebhardt.
And I'm Alexandra Romero.
Going, gone. After more than 3 decades of protests and debates, San Jose finally said goodbye to the divisive statue of former Mayor Thomas Fallon. Reporter Madeline Dowds has reaction from the community.
The controversial statue of the former mayor came down Monday night. Now it will be out of sight and into storage. Many San Jose residents hope lessons can be learned. The corner of Julian and St. James Street in downtown San Jose is where the 1,200-pound bronze statue of former Mayor Thomas Fallon once sat. After 30 years of protests, including the statue being set on fire in 2020, the San Jose City Council voted unanimously last fall to remove it. The statue depicts the eventual 10th mayor of San Jose planting the U.S. flag in the 1800s, while California was still part of Mexico. Critics have said it represents colonial oppression and genocide.
We don't have to have something like that is so uncomfortable looking down on us every day. It'd be nice to do something like that celebrates everyone and show how diverse downtown San Jose really is.
Though some supported the removal of the statue, others felt it was important to acknowledge and remember its historical significance.
That's how I see a lot of statues, that they're very representative of the time period when they've been sculpted, not what they're representing.
For now, the statue goes into storage. Urban planning professor Kelly Snyder believes enough attention has already been given to the campaign.
Do it fast and then turn your attention back to the things that are going to dramatically improve people's lives in the city, right? In this case, in the city of San Jose. So yeah, I think it should, I don't think it needs a long, glorious sail off into the sunset.
The cost of taking down the statue, nearly $500,000. So what will become of the space? There's no money for new artwork, so it will return to a traffic median. Live in San Jose, I'm Madeline Dowds, Update News.
Another Bay Area child has been shot while riding in a car. It comes just weeks after a 5-year-old was shot and killed on an East Bay freeway. This week, a 15-month-old was shot in East Oakland. It happened as the car the toddler was riding in crossed the intersection of 12th Avenue and 15th Street. Police say her parents rushed her to a nearby fire station for medical aid. She later had surgery and is in stable condition. No suspects have been identified in this case yet. Oakland police urge anyone who knows anything about this shooting to call them.
There are growing calls for California's longest-serving senator to step down. 89-year-old Dianne Feinstein has been sick since February. The call for her resignation are coming from within her own party, including dozens of grassroots organizations. Reporter Alejandra Bacosero has that story.
Senator Feinstein has been in public office for more than 50 years. The moderate Democrat has served in the U.S. Senate for more than 3 decades. She also holds an important post on the Senate Judiciary Committee. But the 89-year-old has been sidelined by illness since February. Democrats worry that they can't push through President Biden's judicial nominees in her absence. They're also concerned her vote might be crucial on other issues, too. Senator Feinstein has been recovering in her San Francisco home. 2 weeks ago, her staff issued a news release saying she intends to return to work and that she would like a temporary replacement on the Judiciary Committee. But Republicans say they won't play ball. Now, the calls for her to resign are coming within her own party. First, California Congressman Ro Khanna posted a tweet saying, "It's time for Senator Feinstein to resign. We need to push the country ahead of personal loyalty." While she has had a lifetime of public service, it is obvious she can no longer fulfill her duties. Not speaking out undermines our credibility as elected representatives of the people. This week, more than 60 progressive grassroots groups signed a letter asking her to resign. Activate America is one of the groups that signed the letter, thanking her for her service, but respectfully asking her to step down.
And so it's a little frustrating when we've worked so hard to get a majority Senate, a majority House, and then have this situation where we just have a bare majority and where Senator Feinstein is unable to serve.
Lenny said he hopes Feinstein makes a decision soon to step down and allow for another candidate.
It's really a critical time to be able to have those votes and get those judges approved because it's stalling progress.
Some voters seem to agree.
She should resign, not because we don't want her in Congress, but dude, to take care of her health. However, I thank her for her service.
Feinstein says she will not seek re-election next year. Her current term expires in January of 2025. This is Alejandra Vaca-Sotelo, Update News.
Journalism, our profession is having a moment. Right now, generative artificial intelligence is becoming a part of everyday life. Just about anyone can use software like ChatGPT. It will write you an essay within minutes. But what part, if any, should AI play in news reporting? Reporter Laverne Johnson was there this week as journalism hashed it out.
This is the hot topic right now. About 100 journalists and tech experts took part in a panel discussion this week at the Microsoft headquarters in Mountain View. Local and international journalists discussed if and how AI should play a role in news and cover it in written. It might not come as a surprise that there were diverging views on generative artificial intelligence like ChatGPT. The group acknowledged that AI is here to stay, but some fear what it could do to journalism and storytelling.
ChatGPT did not just emerge last year, right? It's from AI has been around from the 40s, and people have been debating and developing it, and now we're at the stage where it's really much more powerful.
Some journalists predicted challenging times are ahead as artificial intelligence can produce misinformation and create fake photos. But others argued AI will increase the quality of work with the potential of creating award-winning work.
There's going to be this debate in media circles about who owns what and whether it's actually your content. But in my view, if you're the person that's prompting it and you're injecting your own voice into it in the same way that Juliet described it a few minutes ago, in my view, that is you have created that content.
But Nunez stressed it's still important to be diligent.
But I think that the onus is on the reporter, right? So I'm less worried about the misinformation piece of this because reporting is reporting. You're supposed to find the truth, and your job stays the same. There will be a proliferation of fake or synthetic content because of generative AI, but that doesn't change the role of a beat reporter, right?
Bloomberg reporter Rachel Metz said that since generative AI is here to stay, journalists have to get familiar with it.
And being able to sort of play around with these machines, I think, is really powerful and valuable and gives people just a really good chance to see how these things do affect our lives and how they're going to affect our lives increasingly in good and bad ways, and how we're actually a really important player.
One of the things some of the panelists agreed on moving forward, AI-generated material should come with disclaimers. Live in San Jose, I'm Lee Vern Johnson, Update News.
AI isn't the only hot topic in journalism this week. A pair of firings has rocked the world of cable news. First, Fox fired controversial opinion host Tucker Carlson. The network gave no reason for the move, but it comes as we're learning Carlson is at the center of several pending lawsuits. And it comes on the heels of Fox paying out $787 million in a settlement to Dominion. Carlson is one of the hosts who falsely claimed Dominion's voting machines helped President Biden steal the 2020 election. Then the second shoe dropped. CNN fired veteran journalist Don Lemon. The network did not specify why, but Lemon had recently apologized on air for calling 51-year-old former Governor Nikki Haley past her prime. The controversial host had recently been moved from his own primetime show to a morning news slot. Joining us now is San Jose State University professor of journalism, Richard Craig, to help us unpack this news world tsunami. Professor, thank you for joining us. These two oustings, one after the other, from two very different news networks have left audiences with whiplash. Why were these anchors fired?
Well, first of all, you have Fox was just reeling from this lawsuit, and apparently some of what came out of that was Tucker Carlson making some very unkind remarks about the bosses there. There were various other issues about him creating a toxic workplace. There's a lawsuit coming out about that. But still, most people didn't see it coming because he was so popular. With Don Lemon, the writing had been on the wall. He had been moved to the morning show. So one was definitely much more of a shock than the other, but still huge impact on the whole news landscape.
What does it say about these companies that they were willing to get rid of some of their most popular anchors?
Well, a lot of it may have to do with the giant settlement that Fox just had to pay out. The consequences of some of the controversies were costing them a lot of money. Tucker Carlson had already lost a lot of advertisers and things like that. It ended up being about the bottom line, as it so often is.
And what might this have for, what impact might this have for cable news networks and their audiences?
Well, the audiences have been growing smaller. Tucker Carlson was sort of one of the exceptions to that. But it's showing that you can't just go on the air and say whatever comes to mind, whatever conspiracy theory is out there, that there are consequences for this kind of thing. So I would hope it means that that audiences for these news networks might actually get more news and less conjecture and less speculation and less falsehoods.
Thank you, Professor Craig. We've been speaking with Richard Craig, Professor of Journalism at San Jose State.
When we come back.
The government wants most new cars sold in the U.S. to be electric by 2032. But right now, electric cars are less than 6% of the market. Coming up, we'll tell you what people are saying. It's the place you go to fill your dorm, but now it's closing its doors. Bed Bath & Beyond is another company in a string of retailers that filed for bankruptcy. So, what does that mean for its customers? Find out next.
It's pretty warm and toasty out there right now. But are we going to see a cool off into next week? Stick around to find out those forecast numbers.
At San Jose State, we really do learn by doing. This is my first semester working on our award-winning newspaper, the Spartan Daily. But my whole time here really has been about real-world skill building. Professors like Diane Gurazi continue their work in journalism while bringing that knowledge back to us in the classroom each semester. Then we're on the Spartan Daily, Update News, or the Spear. We get to put all that into practice. We even get to work with cutting-edge tools like our new VR lab, where we get to learn new ways of real storytelling using 3D virtual reality.
Our students have many opportunities to work in newsrooms that function like the ones they will encounter in their professional careers. Here in Update News, for instance, we produce a weekly show that is aired on local access television in San Jose, and we produce video news that is digital first. Students will get experience as producers, anchors, and field reporters.
The Spartan Daily, our award-winning student newspaper, has not missed a scheduled publication date in more than 80 years and remains one of the longest-standing papers of its kind in the Western United States. Through classroom instruction and our newsroom labs, we give our students the tools to succeed and create their own bright futures. Learn by doing. If you're interested in joining our program, visit our website for more information.
Buying a car can be challenging, especially if you're looking for an electric vehicle right now. Electric car sales are less than 6% of the U.S. market. So why are some buyers still so reluctant to go electric? Reporter Angel Santiago has that story.
We celebrate Earth Day on this April across the U.S. and around the world. It is an environmentally cautious group to make special efforts to encourage people to buy electric vehicles. The city of Mountain View just held an event to let the community test drive an electric vehicle for themselves.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I think, you know, there's several reasons that I like EV because, first of all, it's good for the environment. And I think, personally, I mean, I like it, the fact that the maintenance costs very low.
The president of the Electric Vehicle Association, Aileen Borsett, said people need more information.
And so I think the holdup is that people just
are completely unaware, and many people are afraid of new technology. You know, they're just like, oh my gosh, what if I run out? Well,
Californians may be ahead of the pack. According to the State of Emergency Commission, about 838,000 electric cars were on our roads in 2021. That number is expected to surge to 1.2 million by 2035. That's the date that California will ban the sale of gas-powered vehicles. So what's the best way to get up to speed on electric vehicles? This potential buyer has some advice. I'm Angel Santiago for Update News.
The Florida retail store shutting down continues. More than 1,400 are expected to close this year. One of the latest is a popular site to buy stuff for your home. Bed Bath & Beyond filed for bankruptcy. This week marks the beginning of its closing sale. Can you still shop online? What about your coupons? What about returns? Reporter Asia Tubignon went looking for answers.
Bed Bath & Beyond's brand is the place you can find all the essentials you need for your home, and customers could find them at a good price. But now the retailer has filed for bankruptcy. This week it begins closing its remaining 360 locations, along with the company's 121 buybuy BABY locations. Experts say the move has been expected, as with some other retailers, the company wasn't prepared for the tidal wave of online shopping. Longtime shoppers are disappointed.
I've always come to this store to buy bed and bath things, rugs to just any kind of bathroom thing going on, and I've also gotten cookware and stuff for the kitchen. I'm really gonna miss Bed Bath & Beyond. It's been a great place to shop, and folks are really nice.
The closing sales for Bed Bath & Beyond have started today, and as you can see here in Pleasanton, many shoppers have come to see what they could get. Although some people are upset to see the store go, many shoppers thought they could get their favorite items at a deep discount. But that wasn't the case.
Man, I thought there was going to be hella deals. I thought everything was going to be on sale. They're closing, but obviously I left empty-handed. Hopefully as the weeks come, they'll be having more stuff on clearance, because I've been trying to get me a cubicle.
Other shoppers were unhappy that they couldn't use their coupons.
As I was shopping, I overheard the PA saying that the coupons are not going to be accepted, that only 10% is going to be offered at the counter. And so I just decided, well, if they're not accepting coupons anymore, I'm done. And so I just left and threw away the coupons.
Here's a couple things to remember. According to the company's website, you can still shop online. Anything you bought before the bankruptcy sale started can be returned until May 24th. Anything you bought after the closing sale started is final. Workers will get their paychecks and benefits until the bankruptcy sale is completed. I'm Isha Tubignon, Update News.
Just ask most parents enrolled as students at San Jose State. Getting accepted, going to class, and doing the coursework, that's the easy part. But finding a convenient daycare program for their young children, that's the challenge. I found some possible solutions. 3-year-old Leavani is in constant motion as he zips around his daycare classroom at San Jose State's Child Development Center. His mom, Delia Magana, a graduate student, says her son is very happy here. And a double blessing is he's cared for practically across the street.
In case of an emergency or anything, it's maybe like a 5-minute walk at the most, from where my classrooms are at.
And I think for most parents, from what I hear, is they like the peace of mind knowing that they're close by.
The nonprofit daycare program is located along South 8th Street near San Salvador. The center is licensed for 110 children and serves youngsters from age 4 months to 5 years. Many of the staffers are San Jose State students working toward an education degree. The center offers daycare with priority first to students, then staff and alumni, and then the community at large. Be aware the program is well known for having a long waiting list.
We even have some that haven't even given birth yet. They're putting themselves on the wait list because of them wanting to get into the program. They know how hard it is.
The wait list for infants is currently 20 or more. Young Leavani and his mom qualified for subsidized care. Other students may receive a discounted daily rate through the Associated Students Group. If you're interested in the program, don't delay. The center advises go to the website and get on the wait list right away. Enrolled students jump to the top of the list.
The history of Japanese American culture is deeply rooted in San Jose. The city's Japantown neighborhood is an important hub for the people who founded and migrated here looking for farm work in the 1890s. Every year, the community comes together to celebrate that culture and tradition. It all began 45 years ago when more than 30 Japanese American cultural groups and associations. They came together to share and preserve the Japanese American traditions. This was the foundation that helped bring about the Nikki Matsuri Festival. This past weekend, they celebrated in San Jose, Japantown.
I think Japanese culture, it's like for me, I'm like a huge fan of Japanese culture, and it's like so ingrained in the American culture, I feel like, with like pop culture, anime.
Having festivals like these in one of the last free remaining Japantown in the U.S. help promote cultural diversity, bring appreciation to the local Japanese community, and help support local businesses. Organizers say preservation of older Japanese techniques that have been passed down for generations is important, but for some have decided to adapt for a more modern audience. For one artist in particular, it has become more about reminiscing and remembrance.
My mom passed away last year. They're kind of sad memories of doing them together and missing her, but also feeling her spirit in the ones that I have and the ones that she's made, and the adaptations that she's made and I've adopted for how I make them.
Rita isn't the only one who has decided to adapt to the current times. The Nikki Matsuri Foundation promotes continuous growth in the community by adding more opportunities for other groups.
Kind of more representation of the modern Japanese experience that is coming to America that the younger generation can come out and enjoy.
The next Japanese American Cultural Festival is Nissan Week, held in Little Tokyo in downtown Los Angeles. Is one of the nation's longest running ethnic festivals. When any of these scorching temps are here to stay, is rain on the way? Joshua Gilman is here with your forecast.
This is Joshua Gilman with your local 7-day forecasts. Alrighty, what to expect in the next week with your highlights. Temperatures are peaking right now as we speak and as this airs. It is 90 degrees in San Jose. This is the first time we're seeing 90 degrees all year. This is definitely seasonably warm, but it is supposed to cool off by Sunday into next week as the ridge of high pressure that's responsible for this heat is going to be pushing eastward. We're going to be dropping back into the 60s actually by next week, which will be seasonably cool. And more clouds on the way will accompany that low pressure system that will move into the area next week. And that will bring seasonably cool temperatures with some cloudy weather. Not going to be anything significant, no rain in the forecast, but definitely worth noting as clear sunny conditions are persisting right now. All right, in Santa Cruz, they're going to be pretty cool and nice, about 75 degrees on Saturday, 71 on Friday. It's going to be a nice weekend there. Then it's going to taper off into the upper 50s by next week, so for sure a change. And San Francisco is going to be seeing similar conditions with their lows also consistent in the upper 40s. It's going to be mostly cloudy on Saturday and a little gusty on Monday actually as the cold front actually pushes through. In Oakland, they're going to be seeing similar conditions with an overall sunny weekend with some cloud activity into next week. And here in San Jose, it's definitely the warmest of the area. It's going to be 90 degrees as we speak right now, but 86 on Friday and finally cooling off into the 60s. Next week, you see that huge jump Sunday to Monday. It's going to be a 10-degree difference as that cold front moves through, and we're going to get those seasonably cool temperatures into next week. And lows will work its way into the mid-40s by next week as well. But other than that, nippy conditions are finally out of the forecast. Alrighty, everyone. Well, I hope you have a nice weekend. Definitely stay cool and hydrated. But if you hate the heat, hey, no worries, because we definitely will catch a break next week as we see those temps in the 60s. Alrighty, back to the desk.
When we come back,
Crocs, customizable and comfortable, but do they provide the support necessary for your foot? This and what you should be looking for in comfortable footwear coming up.
just as the weather begins to feel sunny and warm, baseball conference season is over. But they went out with a bang. Tune in to hear how the Spartans fared against their Mountain West rival.
Sometime during the pandemic, the controversial Croc of shoes had a renaissance of sorts. The sales went through the roof, but that brought back that age-old question, are they good for your feet? Reporter Carson Wells went looking for accents. Carson, you're already a fan, correct?
Yeah, I love Crocs. Anyone who knows me knows that I wear a pair of Crocs from my collection almost daily. But are they giving my feet the support that they need? I set out to find out. Podiatrist Dr. Douglas Robinson spoke to me about why he thinks they are a good footwear choice that he recommends for occasional use.
Well, a lot of people wear them, and a lot of people wear them and wear just Crocs. They love them. It's easy to slide into. They're comfortable. They're cool. And there's people that wear them that perhaps should be wearing other things, but can wear them. I categorize Crocs as a recovery type footwear.
Recovery footwear is intended to help the muscles relax while still supporting the heel and ankle. Crocs should not be worn exclusively. They are beneficial in some instances, but for the most part are too wide of a shoe to provide necessary support needed. As Dr. Robinson puts it, they are better than being barefoot. Crocs are made out of a Croslite, which is a resin intended to be breathable and reduce impact shock.
I love my Crocs. I got them to go on vacation somewhere to Hawaii, and then since then I've just been wearing them all the time around the house or if I go back to the beach.
I really liked the platform Crocs that they have, so I bought one for myself, and it's in white, and I'm loving it so far.
All podiatrists have slightly different opinions about Crocs, which is why Dr. Robinson says they do a good job at marketing to the masses. He stresses the importance of getting fitted for a new shoe as soon as the tread runs out on your current ones, since your foot is still changing.
You want to wear shoes that are specific to your activity. So if you're playing basketball, wear a basketball shoe. Don't wear a running shoe. Be as specific as you can because it'll provide more protection for you. And protection means safety and comfort.
Crocs are not the only recovery shoe out there, and most podiatrists actually recommend a similar shoe, OOFOS. OOFOS are made out of a foam and can absorb a lot more impact than a pair of Crocs would. Both work well for general use, but it is important to remember to wear the correct shoe for the activity you are participating in. Crocs may not always work for every occasion, but for the most part they're comfortable, and some of us even think they're stylish. Live in San Jose, I'm Carson Wells, Update News.
Speaking of taking off, the San Jose State men's baseball team has been running through the Mountain West Conference. Oliver Johnson is here to tell us about Spartan Sports.
They really have. The men's baseball team is on fire, and they are heading into their next matchup against Air Force in Colorado. Let's take a look at their last game against Mountain West rival Fresno State.
San Jose State's baseball teams brought home a series win after splitting its series 2 games apiece against the Fresno State Bulldogs. Junior second baseman Charles McAdoo got the first Spartans runs on the board after hitting 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, making the score 2-0. After a 4-run inning by the Bulldogs, McAdoo scored on a scary play that left freshman catcher Matt Gonzalez banged up at home plate. The Spartans will go on to hit a couple more RBIs to take a 9-5 lead before redshirt sophomore Nathan Hansen struck out the last batter to seal the win.
The Spartans sit in first place in the Mountain West Conference as they prepare to take on Air Force this Friday at 2 p.m. In other news, San Jose State's women's golf has been invited to the NCAA Regionals in Athens, Georgia from May 8th through the 10th. Look out for the ladies as they try and bring home the first NCAA championship in more than 30 years. I'm Lee Vern Johnson, and that's all this week for Sports Update.
We've got great weather on tap. Looking for something to do? Here's Carson's calendar.
Here's what's coming up this week. The Hunchback of Seville opens this weekend. For showtimes and more information, scan the QR code below. On April 29th, it's officially Bring Your Own Cup Day at 7-Eleven. You can bring in any watertight, clean, and no bigger than 10-inch thing to participating locations and fill it for just $1.99. Finally, on May 3rd, attend the 2023 JMC Showcase. The event goes from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Dwight Bendel Hall, room 117. We'll be there with fun stickers. That's all for this week.
And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thanks for joining us, and see you next week.